what was the genesis of this book? And, was this been a long time coming, a few months coming, or when did you come up with this name and the concept for Under Siege?
Yeah. So first, Clay, you are a dear friend, and I love you dearly. You're an amazing guy. And listen, Steve, we started this whole journey because we want to save this nation. We want to save the American flag. We want to save the Constitution. We want to save religion in this nation. Christianity was being, scoffed at by Obama. The IRS was targeting every religious organization out there. I mean, we were truly under attack, and that's why my father jumped into the race. That's why he did it, as well as the fact that we were dying economically. We had total incompetence in Washington, D.C. No one was working for the American people. Every politician was getting rich. Our jobs were being shipped overseas. And we got into it as a family. And I'll never forget, I came up with the title of this book a couple years ago, even though I only started writing it about a year ago. They put our family, for coming in to try to save this country, they put us under siege, right? I mean, that's what the Democratic Party did. That's what the far left did. They impeached my father not once, but twice. They made up dirty dossiers about him. They made up the Russia hoax, which I was in the center of, that was absolutely fabricated, no merit. They raided our homes. They weaponized the FBI. They weaponized the DOJ. They removed our First Amendment right, our freedom of speech. They took us off of Twitter. They took us off of Facebook. They took us off of Instagram. They removed my father from the ballot in Colorado. They removed my father from the ballot in Maine. They did everything they could to try and bankrupt our company. I became the most subpoenaed person in American history. They weaponized every AG and DA in this country against our family, whether it was Alvin Bragg in New York, or Letitia James in New York, or Jack Smith with the hoax boxes case, or Fanny and her boyfriend in Georgia. They did everything they could to try and destroy us, to try and destroy the movement, to try and destroy my father, to try and separate our family, and hence the name Under Siege. I wanted to talk a lot about kind of, how my father raised us, our family, kind of behind the scenes of all of it, but then the legal warfare that they imposed on all of us. And then they tried to kill my father, right? They tried to kill him at Butler, which didn't come as any surprise to me. This book was already named Under Siege before Butler. I hadn't started working on it.
I was going to ask you about that, because people would think, well, that must have started with Butler or something.
No, it started long before Butler. And honestly, I had the name in my head, and I had an unbelievable journal. And then all of a sudden they tried to kill him on that stage. And I had my two kids on my lap watching as I saw my father's, ear explode.
You were right there.
And I'll never forget. And then obviously you saw what happened at the golf course, what was it, 2 months later. Then you saw what happened to Steve Scalise. You saw what almost happened to Kavanaugh, and you saw what just happened to all of our friend, Charlie Kirk. They want to keep us in a basement. They want to keep us off a stage. They don't want us talking. They don't want us out in public. They don't want us doing what I think my father and really myself and Don and my wife Laura did so well, which we traversed every swing state. We did thousands, not hundreds of events, thousands of events on a stage. And guess what? They wanted to erase Charlie Kirk. They wanted to erase my father. They wanted him off the stage. They want me off the stage. And they did everything they could legally, to absolutely crush us, to, again, hamper our ability to speak. They gag ordered us. They removed us. They took away our First Amendment right over and over and over. They tried to bankrupt us. I probably spent $400 million in legal fees, trying to navigate the Trump organization through all these hoaxes. And so I had to write this book, Under Siege. And the greatest part of this whole story is we were triumphant. We won. We won. We battled through all of it. We had the entire media in the country against us, and and the entire government of the United States against us, and we won. And that's because we have the greatest political movement in history, which includes all of your followers and everybody probably watching us right now. And I had to materialize it in paper. And so I painstakingly wrote this book, and it just went to #1 on Amazon, and I couldn't be more proud of it.